So to get started, just a little icebreaker question. What's your Starbucks order?
This is probably gonna make me unpopular. I don't actually drink coffee, so my order would be hot chocolate.
At the end of the day, student government is a direct source of student advocacy on campus, and I think it's important that everyone knows what kind of elections are going on and then what the ideals and what the duties of the student body president are.
Part of the thing that I hope people take away from this is that this is a position that represents all campus, so undergrad, grad, professional students, everyone has that opportunity to run, and I want to make, hopefully, if nothing else, this campaign empowers students, and any student on campus feels like they can run for this office, that you don't have to fit a particular constituency.
What I want to be able to do is establish relationships with minority and marginalized communities and continue building off of those relationships that I've already made throughout this entire campaign.
I think in terms of how we change that is that we have to be intentional in reaching out to groups of students on campus that have been historically left out of student government. And we can't just expect them to come to us. You can't throw up a flyer or a slide at orientation or a flyer in the pit and say, hey, come join student government, especially when the people depicted in that flyer probably don't look like those students. If we truly are going to reduce the level of sexual assault on campuses, that we do have to change that culture. We have to help students understand, don't do the thing, don't do the sexual assault. It's not about what can we do to keep students safe from it, but it's the perpetrators, don't do the sexual assault.
One of my ideas for the student body presidency is in engaging in the Red Zone initiative and continuing that foundation. But instead of using that as the first 4 months of each academic year, I want to be able to make that continuous and be able to use that as a collaborative effort between different student organizations. To be able to develop a comprehensive plan that outlines, the academic buildings that are not up to code, the different places on campus that students are having difficult accessing, and what we need to do about that, and taking that to the university, to these discussions behind closed doors and saying, this is what we need to do, what are you going to be able to do about it, and how are you going to be able to improve the lives of students on campus?
Well, I think that this begins with a lot of the different initiatives within my platform around addressing the needs of marginalized groups, which is making sure that those voices are at the table. I may think that I'm an effective voice for students, but that doesn't mean I'm the best person to speak on a particular issue in any given situation. So one of the things that I can do as student body president is to get the people in the room who can tell that story the most compellingly. Well, I think part of that is not making assumptions about what those needs are. I think certainly to the extent that individual undocumented students are comfortable self-disclosing to student government, can be willing to come forth and say, these are the things that would be of the greatest help to us. I think tying this back to the earlier conversation about mental health is recognizing the unique needs of that population, to recognize that these are students that are dealing with an unusually high level of stress. So they're dealing with all the normal stresses of being a college student, whether that's classes or finances or just fitting in socially, but they're also dealing with the uncertainty about how much longer can I be a student here, or they may be dealing with family members that are getting deported because they don't have the protections that DACA currently offers. So recognizing that they're dealing with a whole lot more stressors than even the typical student may be dealing with. So what particular resources are we providing for that?
I'm going to make sure that every member of my administration is also Undocu Carolina trained, on top of being implicit bias trained. I think it's really important to make sure that there are different language options on the UNC websites so prospective students and prospective students' families are able to realize what's in store for them, what opportunities they have, and how they can take full advantage of their Carolina experience.
There's those things that you can change internally to student government and how student government operates. And then there's things that require outside partnerships. So when I look at those internal things that we can immediately change, one of those is to change our recruitment efforts so that we can diversify the students that are represented in student government.
The next student body president is going to be in office during the 2020 elections. So regardless of your partisan identity, it's going to be really important to mobilize these student voters.